Most people think money problems are about income, budgeting, or discipline. They're wrong. The real problem is comparison. Your brain is wired to measure yourself against others. It's called social proof, the unconscious tendency to match behavior and status to the people around you. And when it comes to money, social proof is a silent wealth killer. It explains why people who earn more still feel broke, why some high earners struggle financially while modest earners feel abundant. It explains why a raise doesn't feel like progress. A bonus doesn't feel like freedom. Even when your balance sheet is healthy, your emotions can tell a completely different story. Let's start with the psychology. Humans are social creatures. Our brains evolved to survive in communities where status and comparison determined access to resources, mates, and safety. Being below the group meant disadvantage. Being above the group was risky. It could trigger envy, conflict, or isolation. Today, your brain still runs the same programs. When you see others spending, investing, or showing off wealth, your subconscious evaluates, am I keeping up? Am I enough? And that evaluation triggers emotional pressure. Pressure leads to spending decisions you wouldn't otherwise make. Suddenly, the new phone isn't just a phone, it's a social signal. The upgrade isn't just a convenience, it's a statement. The car isn't transportation, it's a badge. Even subtle cues, Instagram posts, coworker conversations, friends' vacations can create pressure. And here's the catch, your brain reacts emotionally, not logically. You might know you don't need the purchase. You might understand it's a status-driven impulse. You might even plan to save or invest. But your brain interprets social signals as threats to identity and status. Threat triggers short-term decision-making, and short-term decisions rarely align with long-term wealth. This is the core of the comparison trap. You don't overspend because you want the item. You overspend because you feel compelled to match someone else's status. It's not logic. It's emotion. It's identity protection. Now let's break it down into stages. Stage 1, observation. You notice others' financial behavior. Friends, family, social media influencers. Stage 2, evaluation. Your brain asks, am I matching up? Do I belong? Am I keeping up? Stage 3, emotional tension. You feel pressure, inadequacy, or envy. Stage 4, reactive spending. To relieve emotional tension, you make purchases that signal status, security, or success. Stage 5, short-term relief. You feel temporarily better, calm, or validated. Stage 6, post-purchase guilt or stress. You see the bills. You see the savings account untouched. You feel tension again. Stage 7, cycle repetition. Social comparison triggers tension again. Emotional spending follows. And over time, this cycle quietly destroys financial progress. Even disciplined people fall into this trap. They can budget, track, and invest. But social proof creates subtle pressure they react to unconsciously. Now let's talk about why it's so invisible. The comparison trap feels normal. It's culturally reinforced. Everyone else is doing it. You rationalize purchases. It's normal. Everyone else has it. I deserve this. All while your long-term wealth slowly erodes. Even worse, social media amplifies it. Curated posts, filtered images, and highlight reels create the illusion that others are wealthier, happier, and freer than they really are. Your brain reacts as if reality itself has changed, and suddenly your emotional spending triggers go off, even when your financial life is objectively healthy. Here's the science behind it. Neuroscience shows that social comparison activates the same neural pathways as physical threat. Your brain interprets perceived social inadequacy as danger. Fear of missing out, FOMO, spikes cortisol and stress. Stress triggers short-term decision-making. And your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for long-term planning, temporarily shuts down. This is why people buy things impulsively after seeing friends' posts, promotions, or lifestyle cues. Your rational mind knows better. Your emotional brain doesn't care. Now, here's the shocking truth. Comparison doesn't just affect spending. It affects earning potential, investing behavior, and risk-taking. You might avoid pursuing opportunities that feel socially risky. You might imitate peers' investments even if they don't match your goals. You might undervalue your own success because someone else is doing better, and all of this is silent and automatic. So how do you escape the comparison trap? Step 1. Identity alignment. Define your own financial identity, not based on peers, not based on social media. Decide, I am someone who values stability, long-term growth, and emotional calm over social approval. Step 2. Environment design. Limit exposure to triggers that create unnecessary comparison. Unfollow accounts that increase stress. Mute conversations that trigger envy. Avoid stores or online shopping when emotionally vulnerable. Step 3. Internal reframing. Remind yourself that most social signals are performative, curated, or temporary. Other people's financial behavior does not define your reality. Step 4. Focus on your own metrics. Track personal financial progress visually. Savings, investments, debt reduction. Measure what matters to your life, not theirs. Step 5. Deliberate spending aligned with values. Spend intentionally for utility, growth, or joy, not status signaling. Step 6. Pause before reacting. Whenever you feel the impulse to spend after seeing someone else's lifestyle, pause. Even a 2-second pause allows your rational brain to regain control. Step 7. Practice gratitude. Recognize progress you've already made. Gratitude reduces the emotional pull of comparison. Here's a key insight. The people who build lasting wealth don't live in constant comparison. They operate within their own framework, measure success against their own goals, and remain emotionally neutral to peers' behavior. This doesn't mean ignoring opportunities. It means evaluating opportunities through your lens, not someone else's. When you escape the comparison trap, money becomes a tool, not a status signal, not a source of anxiety, not a lever for social validation. And here's the final breakthrough. Once comparison loses its emotional hold, discipline, automation, and consistency naturally take over. You spend consciously, you save consistently, you invest strategically, you allow compounding to do its work, and the silent trap that destroyed financial progress for years disappears. Here's the next layer most people never realize. Comparison doesn't just make you spend, it changes how you feel about every financial choice you make. Let's break it down. Imagine two people with identical incomes. Person A ignores social signals, tracks their own progress, saves consistently, invests smartly. Person B constantly compares themselves to friends, colleagues, and social media. Even though they earn the same, Person B feels like they're behind. They spend more to keep up. They stress more about bills. They invest less consistently because fear of falling behind paralyzes them. Social comparison creates a financial illusion of scarcity, even when plenty exists. Here's a story you'll recognize. A friend gets a promotion and posts about it online. Your brain sees it instantly. Emotional tension spikes. You ask yourself, am I doing enough? Should I buy a better car, upgrade my phone, spend to signal success? Even if your income and savings are fine, your brain interprets others' gain as personal inadequacy. Impulse spending follows. Short-term relief follows. Long-term progress stalls, and the cycle repeats silently. Now here's the science behind it. Neuroscience shows that the same brain regions light up when we perceive social ranking as when we perceive physical threats. Comparison triggers stress, even if logically you know it's irrelevant. Cortisol spikes. Decision-making becomes short-term. Emotional spending kicks in. Even subtle cues, friends talking about vacations, co-workers discussing gadgets, social media posts can hijack your brain. And this is why people who are disciplined and rational in most areas still sabotage their wealth. It's invisible. It feels normal. It's everywhere. Another critical insight: comparison fuels lifestyle inflation unconsciously. A raise arrives, a bonus hits, your friends upgraded their phones, cars, or wardrobes. Suddenly your brain interprets "I need to match them" as a necessity. Even if you know you should save or invest, the emotional pressure pushes you to spend. The result? Income increases, but financial progress stagnates. This is why millions of people work hard, earn more, and still feel broke. The problem isn't income, it's identity under social influence. Now let's explore how to escape this trap step by step. Step 1. Awareness. Notice when emotional tension spikes after seeing someone else's financial behavior. Step 2. Pause and ask yourself, is this decision aligned with my goals, or am I reacting to someone else? Step 3. Measure success by your own metrics. Track savings, investments, and debt reduction visually. Track what matters to you, not what your peers display. Step 4. Environment design. Reduce exposure to triggers. Limit social media scrolling. Mute comparison-heavy conversations. Avoid stores or online shopping during emotional vulnerability. Step 5. Reframe perspective. Most social signals are curated, filtered, or exaggerated. Other people's success is often performative, not reality. Step 6. Identity alignment. Decide. I am a person who grows wealth steadily without needing social validation. Every financial decision is now measured against your own self-image, not others. Step 7. Intentional spending to reflect values, not status. Each purchase becomes deliberate, emotionally neutral, and goal-aligned. Step 8. Gratitude and reinforcement. Remind yourself of financial progress you've already achieved. Gratitude reduces the emotional pull of comparison. Step 9. Practice small controlled risks. Expose yourself to financial decisions aligned with your goals. See that you can handle setbacks without social validation. Step 10. Automate savings, investments, and recurring financial decisions. Your brain doesn't have to weigh social pressure emotionally. It follows a pre-decided system. Here's a real-world story. Two friends inherit $10,000. Friend A invests it quietly, tracks growth, ignores peers. 10 years later, they have a solid nest egg. Friend B spends it to match peers' lifestyles, upgrading phones, gadgets, travel. 10 years later, they feel broke, even though they started with the same amount. Social comparison silently eroded financial progress. And here's another subtle layer. Comparison also affects opportunity. You might avoid asking for a raise because others in your peer group haven't. You might avoid starting a side business because you feel behind in social rank. You might stay in a financial rut because everyone around you is in a similar position, so your brain interprets risk as socially inappropriate. In other words, your social environment shapes your financial ceiling. Breaking free requires deliberate mental and behavioral strategies. Awareness, identity alignment, automation, and reframing are the keys. Once you master this, wealth accumulation becomes predictable. You stop reacting to every social cue. You focus on your own compounding progress. You allow long-term strategies to work while peers react emotionally. And here's the ultimate payoff. Freedom from comparison isn't just financial. It's emotional. It's mental. You finally stop chasing other people's lives. You finally act strategically. You finally let compounding, consistency, and rational decision-making dictate results without the constant pull of social pressure. In the next video, we'll explore how to combine all the cycles we've discussed: emotional spending, loss aversion, identity, and social comparison into a single system that automates wealth growth and emotional calm. Because when you understand the hidden forces driving every financial decision, you no longer need luck. You no longer need motivation. You no longer need to react to life or peers. You design your financial reality, and that is the ultimate advantage in money psychology.